Hello everyone, dudes, dudettes, and above. Today we will be discussing very important things now that I finally released my last collection that is Everything V's. Ronald McDonald MUGEN, we will be discussing the following. What will happen now that I posted my final collection for now? To focus on IKEMEN Void, and what is IKEMEN Void even about? What will happen if IKEMEN Void is finished, or at least functioning enough for me to release a beta for people to use and test out? And answering any possible questions, and really latest pre-existing questions, in regards of my content. Now, before anyone as per usual cancels me, I put in the description as per usual as to why I use an AI voice for it's for a valid reason, and not for a lame one. That being said, let's begin. 1. First things first, let me explain what's going on with the whole last collection thing. If you have been keeping up with my latest bump schedule videos, I've stated that after working on all the collections that I had planned on my to-do list, I will be focused on IKEMEN Void, because I wanted to release as much content as possible before pausing it for a long while to finish a very important project to the IKEMEN scene for cheapy lovers and old-school MUGEN enjoyers. Now that we got that out of the way, you're probably wondering what is IKEMEN Void. It's simple, IKEMEN Void. IKEMEN Void is a modified version of IKEMEN, in which it fully runs all characters from many different versions of MUGENs, especially cheapies of every exploit run on IKEMEN, and even make IKEMEN possible to run on low-end PCs. This is important because that's where adding around 18K or more characters can come in. Meaning, people can use or make a screen pack for this version of the engine to allow tons of slots and tons of content. So basically, making IKEMEN have parts of what made MUGEN so great, the limitless nature of it. So people can enjoy all four best of worlds, meaning people can enjoy WinMUGEN, MUGEN 1, MUGEN 1.1, and IKEMEN itself all on one modified version of IKEMEN. Now you're probably, why did this idea come to be? Well, it's quite simple. IKEMEN has the capabilities to run most content from WinMUGEN to 1x proof, is on the videos in which I asked and showed, can IKEMEN run both WinMUGEN and 1x cheapies? And the answer itself is quite simple, yes, but with some limits as presented in those videos. Because of this, I thought to put this into fruition. Depending on how long this project is and where it goes, might determine what will happen next and such. 2. Now that I got that out of the way, let's get into what will happen if you finally manage to complete this project or release somewhat of a beta of it. It's simple. I think from there I would think I made a breakthrough. People, especially cheapy lovers and such, can use IKEMEN for what they always wanted it to be. I think from there, I would start being more active on my channel, but would have to come up with a couple of ideas for content and such. Of course, it will involve you all having to vote for which type of content that you feel should be released. Who knows, I probably might need to resume a couple of series I did on the channel that I've been neglecting for a while. Jesus lol ig, you can say I've neglected them, because I had no other direction for them, but who knows, that might change. 3. Now that's been said, I think it's time for the most part that tons of you were probably waiting within the video, which is answering any possible questions and really latest pre-existing questions in regards of my content. And, well, let's start with the possible questions. I assume tons of you will ask, which is, will you stop uploading completely? Will requests even be open by then? How long will this project make? And what will you be doing in these times in which you will be working on this project? And TBH, all my answers for these are quite simple. I will just be doing what I needed to be doing and focusing on things I needed to focus on. Meaning, if I feel like it and have the motivation, I'll maybe post a screen pack, a stage, maybe just something small in general. So the things I will be focusing on is being more active and giving more attention to the MUGEN, boy, site without having to juggle content on the side. On top of that, during this time I will most likely never take requests. Lol, I know people will be like, damn, requests have been closed for MONTHS, but if you pay attention, it's for a very good reason. And it's all in the bump schedules I've made as well. Now as for the project. Considering IKEMEN whole function is to be the modern version of MUGEN, but removing the limitless features of MUGEN which involved cheapies, allowing to be ran on low-end PCS and allow thousands, and upon thousands of characters to be ran that doesn't require for them to hidden behind categories or sharing a single slot with other characters. So with that, and since this uses the language Golang, this could take many, and I mean many months to complete depending on how everything is set up. Luckily, I do have a friend who could possibly help with the project named Unbite, who has an idea to help. For he stated something of interest. For he stated, since Golang is a memory-safe language, exploits can't exactly be done on it reliably. Hate to say it. Golang changes where the memory of things are placed every so often, so modifying one thing constantly with cheat engine will eventually cause it to stop working. It might explain why on low-end PCs abrupt lag occurs every now and then. I may find some way to backport it to C, but may need to create my own memory handler, which is the thing the devs of the original IKEMEN Go didn't want to do. So they went for Go instead since Go does it for them. Go looks similar to C, so I can use IKEMEN Go source code as a reference to adapt it to C, but I don't have time for that yet. Maybe that can end up being what Deck MUGEN gets called, IKEMEN Void. When you start it up for the first time, it would have this warning. Notice, this is a C backport of IKEMEN Go, with buffer exploits effectively enabled, among other things that make it practically unsafe. Use any character made for this you download with extreme caution. Ensure you also trust who or where you're downloading it from. Be careful. I would make a void port of Infinite Solibus as a sample that the backport will come with. And I did state, I saw your message about the C backport idea. I'm actually cool with it both using the IKEMEN void name for the unsafe C version and including a void port of Infinite Solibus as the sample that comes with it. I've always been looking for someone to help push this side of the project forward, so if you're down to work on the C backport, I'm all for it. The goal of Void has always been better compatibility with wild old Win MUGEN cheapy stuff. And re-enabling those buffer exploits in a proper C build with the big safety warning you mentioned sounds like a solid direction. Mitsuri smile. Since this is a big project and will be very time-consuming, you will be paid for your time, just name your price on your contribution. Let me know what you need from me source access, current void changes to reference, or anything else. We can coordinate on how to structure it, void main fork versus void C backport, etc. Appreciate you bringing this up. So from there, I plan to reach out to him in regards of that. Other than that, I will most likely just be focusing on running the Doomboy forum and doing other things as state above and such. I would also like to answer something as well that I keep getting a question about from one user that I would like to bring up before I proceed on this journey. And the question is, please make a MUGEN around 35 GB. And the answer for that is, you are definitely on the wrong channel for that lol. I never really planned, especially now, going on this semi-hiatus to focus on a long WIP project to make a MUGEN that's around 3-5 GB. Now I would already answer this person 2x, because they stated this 2x, but I am sure this will be asked again by another person if I do not address it, so no. I have zero plans on making a MUGEN that small, especially now. I've pumped out all the collections I could before this point, and I do have a couple of much smaller rosters on my channel that I recommend checking out. Never too late to take this time to explore my channel and website. Because who knows, you might find something you like, something that fits you. Hopefully during this time, people utilize your resources and such during this time, for I know for sure I've been holding all of your hands when it comes to navigating and having concerns of my content. That is all I think. I really do hope all of this makes sense to you all, for I don't want people to think that I will be leaving this channel for dead. I will still be around, just won't upload like I usually do. I will answer new comments every now and then, but yeah. If you guys have any questions or concerns, please let me know and enjoy.